notice when you've been around certain people that you just don't feel good and you want to get the heck away from them? Or you're in a building and it just doesn't feel right, and you're not really sure what's causing that. We have a funeral home out here near us that the the ceiling is too low, and when you go in there, you just feel like you're just, like you just want to bend over, get lower so that you're not going to hit your head on the ceiling. It's not that bad, but anyway, you definitely can tell. And I went to a conference one time and I found out it's like sacred geometry, or it's like a geometric ratio between the width and the length and the height of a room. And it's got to be in a certain ratio for it to feel right. Well, that particular room isn't set up right. So I've noticed that. And then one time we were in the grocery store that was closing down, and we were there seeing if we could get any bargains that we just absolutely had to have. And my husband came up to me and he says, I got to get out of here. And so, you just have a feeling about that. I know a woman who was married for 5 times, and I was kind of judgmental about that, but then I realized that she got married and then she was maybe kind of growing in one direction and her husband was going another direction, and then after a while you're just not a vibrational match anymore. So when you're around somebody that you feel uncomfortable to be around, you're just not a vibrational match. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. It's like playing on the piano, like you're playing middle C and that person's doing a D flat, and C and D flat together are not really great, but C by itself is just fine and D flat by itself is just fine, but together it's not a harmonious chord. So when you get in that situation, you have 3 choices. You could either continue staying around that person that's driving you nuts, or that doesn't feel right, or you can change your contribution to the situation. Are you causing anything that would cause any kind of conflict, that making the frequency not be compatible, or get away from them? Like you're being a job. If you hate it, that's the universe telling you you're taking up somebody else's job and that you need to move on to something else. But if you hate it, you're not a frequency, you're not a vibrational match to that job or that marriage or that friend, whatever it is. And on my situation, I just get the heck away. I avoid it with all my power, is to stay away from people who I'm not compatible with. And I've gotten where I'm really okay with just saying that. Like if you came over and we weren't getting along well, and I'm getting okay to where I can say, this is just not working out. I just don't think we're a vibrational match. And it doesn't make either one of us wrong. It's just that we're not good together. So that's a real good test for you to check on what's going on when you're with your family. I often say that your biological family is not necessarily your spiritual family. And just because you were born into a particular family doesn't mean you have to stay if it's toxic. If you can't stand to be around them, if every time you get around them, you just get so pulled down into the dumps and horrible, get away from them. They did their job of bringing you onto the planet, and now it's your turn to go in and do your thing. And you do not have to stay in that situation if you can't change it yourself. Change, like in your own, the way you're reacting to them. If you could change that, you can do that. But if you can't change it, then you need to go. And then there's other situations, like say you may have to be a caregiver for your dad who's got Alzheimer's, and you can't really get away from that. So then you do this number 2 step, which is change your part of that. You have to change your perspective of what's going on and find out what is the best thing. That here you are there. Well, you're actually you're able to stay with your dad in a place that it's his house, and hopefully it could be your house. But anyway, but you have a place to be, and you got food, and you're taking care of him, and you'll take care of because he took care of you for a whole lot during your life. Unless maybe it was a very toxic situation and you want to get away, but sometimes you can't. So it's really good if you just change your mind about how you see it. When you change your perspective of what's going on, it will completely change your whole scenario, how you're living.